Hi, this is Drogie. I'm back with a video and today I want to talk about nervousness in speedrunning and how to deal with it. Jesus self-slap you just saw is one way of dealing with nervousness. Honestly, not the healthiest one, and it might also not work for everyone. Now this video right here should be practical for you. I'm not just gonna tell you to eat healthy or go out and exercise to strengthen your body, though you should. But I want to give you actual strategies to realize right away. In this video I want to focus on three main aspects. Briefly, what is nervousness? Because we need to understand what nervousness is so we know how to effectively deal with it. As good, preparation is a big part of dealing with nervousness in any kind of competitive activity. I want to put emphasis on this aspect and tell you how to prepare for your runs. And then I want to give you some strategies to actually use while speedrunning to find your focus again. I also want to briefly talk about the flow. It's what people call the ideal state of focus, so it's the ideal state of mind we want to reach. By the way, if you like the topic, there's some more sources for you to read in the description below. And if you want to see more speedrunning and N64 related content, subscribe to my channel. But for now, let's talk about what nervousness is. So basically, nervousness is stress. Being on good pace in your speedrun, possibly world record pace even, is more or less the same chemical reaction that you get in your body while trying to catch the bus, when having to perform in front of a big audience, when riding a roller coaster or before a sports even. Now, stress has a negative connotation because it's bad for the body, right? Well, it is long term, but now think, why do humans get stressed? Okay, imagine a caveman. This caveman now meets a saber-tooth. He gets nervous and the physiological reactions of the stress comes in handy. Muscles get tense, breathing gets faster, you're suddenly very awake and have a tunnel vision to focus on the important stuff. Unnecessary body functions may shut down, like your bladder, cause, you'd rather pee yourself than getting eaten by a saber-tooth, right? Really negative are only the long-term effects stress can have when it occurs regularly, but we don't care about those today. Being on pace every now and then won't hurt you, unlike working too much or being under time pressure constantly. No, we want to know how to react to the short-term stress and reduce its physiological and psychosomatic effects on your body, which is what we will do in step 3 of this video. First, let's talk about prevention. How do we avoid getting nervous in the first place? Well, there are 4 aspects sports psychologists usually focus on. Keep in mind they vary for every person. Some of you might need more work on number 2, some need more on number 3, and so on, but let's have a look at them. Number 1. Set yourself goals. Tell yourself what your goals are, but don't make the goals vague or hard to keep track of. Let's say your goal is to finish a run within 2 hours. This is a good and meaningful goal. However, you shouldn't solely focus on result-oriented goals. Why is that? Well, for your sub 2 hour goal, there are about 5,000 aspects to keep track of in order for you to reach your goal. No, your goals need to focus on your performance. Set yourself a goal. Hey, I will get the 5 big skips flawlessly, or I won't lose an extra life in this run, or I'll finish the run without ever raging. And then you can focus on these goals and figure out how you can achieve them. And usually once you reach all your performance goals, you will also reach your result goal by nature. The next preparation aspect: boost your confidence. What are your strengths? Take some time to think about what you're good at. Maybe you're really good at a specific part of the run, or you're good at mashing, or you're good at dealing with anger. Just thinking about these things for a bit will boost your confidence and immediately lower your nervousness. You also want to write down environmental strengths. What conditions are good for you? Maybe there's the perfect temperature in your room right now. Your chair is perfectly comfortable and your console hasn't crashed in more than a year. Have you ever feared your console would crash and you would lose your run? Well, just thinking about the fact it hasn't crashed in so long will prevent that fear from even coming up, and thus prevent the adrenaline that will make you nervous. 3. Gain security. Runs will never go as you plan. Now, you don't want to think about everything that might go wrong. That is poison for your brain. No, you want to think about what could influence your performance and prepare. Let's say the chair is squeaky and it could make you nervous all of a sudden, even if it never did before. Fix it. RNG could mess up one of the tricks. That's not your fault. Practice some good backups and you know you're safe, and you can approach a trick much better. Timer could be messed up. Check your split program and your hotkeys, check your stream program, check your capture card settings. Just make sure everything works so you can solely focus on the runs and not on all these other things that could potentially mess up your run. You also want to warm up before starting runs. As they say, a singer's first note will never be on stage. They practice for a bit beforehand. This will help you get even more confidence for your upcoming tricks. 4. Find your optimal state of performance. When do I perform best? Think back about the best runs you've had. What was special about them? I'm sure you will remember things like, that was at the start of the evening where I felt relaxed. That was right after my stretching exercises, or even my crush was in the chat. Try to figure out why these circumstances led to good gameplay and try to recreate them as well so you can find your optimal state of performance. Now, even if you prepare perfectly, you'll probably get nervous on a good run. Most people will for sure, so what do you do once you start sweating, shaking and overthinking a small mistake, leading you to make 10 more small mistakes and losing your focus? Well, there are a few strategies, such as I'll provide you with a bunch of better ones. You can take notes and figure out which work best for you, and at the end of this section, I'll give you an important tip on how to use them effectively. So some of the strategies I came up with myself, and some I gathered with the help of Twitter followers over at twitter.com/DrogieSR. The first one is controlling your breath. So controlling your breath is not just coping with a symptom, it can actually decrease stress. Take a few deep breaths deep into your stomach. Just keep in mind not to focus on your breathing for too long. That could be distracting, but it will automatically calm down your breathing frequency once you do a few deep breaths. 2. Kind of obvious, but try to go a bit slower on purpose to gain consistency and regain some confidence once you succeed at a few more strats. 3. Hide your splits. They can cause a ton of stress-inducing thoughts. Same for your chat, which most pro runners actually hide once they are far enough into the run. 5. During longer cutscenes, you might even be able to relax shortly. Rest your muscles for a bit while taking deep breaths. 6. If you feel too awake and feel like you have too much energy, you can also move around to expand some of your nervous energy. 7. If hiding chat doesn't work for you, try to talk a lot to the chat to kill some of your negative thoughts. 8. Smile the negative thoughts away, or maybe have a routine for when you have time or so, because breaks are your chance. Because during breaks you can take a deep breath, have a quick drink, prepare yourself to take back control, but don't drift away with your thoughts. Constantly remind yourself what you're doing, which leads us to positive thoughts. When teaching, I like to tell the students it's about the topic, not them. For you guys, focus on the gameplay. Think about what's now, not what will be, for example, the results of the run. You cannot control the result of the run, but what you can control is your current gameplay. Imagine yourself and your body being in harmony, or just find a ritual that works for you, like telling yourself stop to stop the negative thoughts. After all, reassure your confidence and just tell yourself that you got this. Keep repeating that you got this. Your brain will eventually believe it. Trust me. Another common method that I want to mention briefly is the mental reset. Stephen Colbert or Cheese slapped themselves, but Please don't do this. Michael van Gerwen, a top darts player, adjusts his sock and usually performs at his best right after. Cristiano Ronaldo fixes his hair. He sometimes has his hair cut during the halftime break just to feel renewed. I personally, when wearing them, like to clean my glasses. As soon as I put them back on, it sets my mental state back to 0. Now, all of these are easily said, and there will always be a risk of entering a vicious cycle. You tell yourself this is under your control and you got this, you mess up and you start questioning it. And now listen closely, because this is possibly the most important part of this video. Turn a vicious cycle into a positive cycle. Just keep reassuring yourself with your positive thoughts to prevent the negative ones from even coming up. Okay, you failed this one part, that happens, you still have to control though, and will do well. Even if you fail twice or 3 times or 10 times, immediately connect it to an optimistic point of view. Now for my very last point, what we all strive for is a state of mind psychologists like to call the flow. Here's how Punke and Cheese describe it in a video by my man D-Whatever aka Denner.
Sometimes you just have those moments where you just kind of enter like a Zen mode. Everything just doesn't feel that difficult, especially with me like opting out of a few like optimizations, like front sub for example.
Yeah, like the Zen mode thing, it does make sense, and it's kind of weird. I don't really know why it happens either.
It's kind of silly in how there's a random element to it. It's like you sit down, you play, you like try to focus, and you just hope it goes well.
That's exactly what that's what I mean. Yeah, I don't know why though. It's weird. It's like a random thing.
I haven't eaten anything. I'm probably not gonna eat something.
It definitely feels like once you're in there, everything just becomes clear and just isn't as hard. I would describe it as some sort of daydreaming while still being focused.
Make sure to check out Denner's video if you want to hear more about the flow or the Zen mode and how to reach it. This is Drogie. Now that was it with my video. I hope you liked it, and if you have more tips on how to handle nervousness, please let me know in the comments. I'm stoked to hear them. Make sure to follow my social media, and if you did, I wish you a very nice day. See ya.